Broken T Society. I am back with your short game coach for the index experiment, Mr. Parker McLachlin, aka the short game chef. And we do not have a wedge in our hand. We have a putter in our hand, which is somewhat of a frightening thing for me. And today we're going to talk about routine. We're not going to talk as much about the stroke. If you want to hear about Parker's sort of fundamentals of the stroke, there are other videos on our channel that you can watch. But the routine is something very important to you, and perhaps you could maybe help me out with mine.
Yeah, so I think, one of the things that kind of gets overlooked in putting is routine. How are you finding your way into a flow state, right? So being in a flow state is something where you are not letting the fears, the thoughts, the doubts in your left side of your brain overtake and overcome so that you can't really hit the most free shot possible. If you get into that flow state, you're more on the right side of your brain, thinking creative shapes, sounds, visuals. That's where we want to live when it comes to putting. So if you had this putt for what's the biggest thing that you're training for right now?
The Broken T Society Club Championship at San Diego Country Club.
All right, so you're getting ready for that. Let's say that you're visualizing that this is the putt that's going to win you that championship. I want to see what your routine looks like, and then we're gonna potentially make some tweaks to help you get more into flow.
Okay. All right.
So let's say we already know the read. You don't need to walk around it and all this
Sure.
stuff. Let's say we already know the read's about 4 or 5 inches out.
Yep.
On the right.
Okay.
Now I just want to see you go through your routine and see what it looks like.
So I usually start with the crouch,
Yep.
like I would say this is the trigger of the process, right? I look around, I give it one last look from behind. Sometimes I'm not a very good green reader, so I don't even know why I do this, but I think I'm trying to find a spot just out in front of the ball. I try to make this target as short as possible. So I've got my spot. I'll give it sort of one of these J. Rose dominant eye lines just so I know that I'm looking in the right spot. I'm gonna walk up. I have a tick where I wipe the face even when it's dry, and I can't get rid of it, so I'll give it a wipe. I'll go in behind it to the side. A couple practice strokes. Looking at the hole.
Okay.
And I two-putt.
Standard two-putt. Okay, so one of the things that I would want is, I would want for you to, like the way that you walked into it felt very like blasé. Like I would want you to walk into it with some energy.
Okay.
So like
It was flat?
it was very flat. You were just kind of like, okay, I'll just sort of like, chill into this thing, right? That's like, are you a lion stalking your prey right now? No, you look like more like a flamingo.
No, I'm terrified of this putt.
Exactly right. So, and what I always like to look at is like, if you look at Rory and you look at how Rory walks into a driver, and it is like the most masculine thing you've ever seen. It's just like, yes, I'm going to smash this ball. It is going to be dominated down the right center, and it's going to have a high draw, and it's going to go 350. And he walks in, and you know that he's going to do that. Now, does he walk in the same way with his putts? Sometimes yes, sometimes I'd say probably not. He walks in a little bit more hesitant, would be my observation. And so what I would want for you is to walk in like you've got some energy behind it. You're like, yes, this is going in. I'm stalking this line, right? You ever thought about it?
I have never thought about how I walk into the ball, but it makes sense. I'm trying to alpha this ball into the hole.
So walk in like you're stalking this thing. You're seeing the line, and then I want most of your awareness on your line, on where the ball is going in the hole. I would love for you to see the ball at the bottom of the cup if you can visually, but I would love for you to see it taking this line and getting all the way and working into the hole that way. And so as you walk in and you step into this thing, you're still picturing that line, and you're making some more intentional practice strokes. Not like, does that look intentional at all? It just looks like you're waving at it.
Yeah.
So make an intentional practice stroke, like you're actually gonna like hit this putt.
And by intentional, you mean sort of the game simulation?
Yeah, I feel like I can actually feel. Yep, I made that. Versus what it looks like to me that you're doing is
just going through the motions.
Like this looks like you're gonna hit it this far. right? So it's not intentional at all. There's no intent behind it. So I want you to make a practice stroke where there's some intention behind it, where you feel like you're going to actually make it. So on this one, I want you to, 3 things. Walk in with some energy, like yes, alpha, I'm going to make this. I'm going to stalk this. 2, I want you to spend 80% of your time visualizing the line into the hole. And then 3, I just want you to make 1 or 2 or however many strokes, but make them intentional. Like, yes, I can feel this. I just made this putt. And then you step in, 1 look, and go.
Walk in like I own
Walk
this
in like
place.
you own it. Yep, intentional. Okay. Get on target. Go. Nice, man. You can see how that ball even comes out with more,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm trying to make this. That first one came out like, I hope I don't 3-putt.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a confident roll.
It was a confident roll. That's where we want to get you. You're going to make more putts by making that confident roll than you are like, oh, I hope this goes in, or I hope I don't 3-putt. There's a bit of magic that goes into making putts. You look at Tiger making that putt in 2008 at Torrey. It's like those greens were, that Poana green late in the day. It's like there's no possible way that ball should actually go in the hole.
No.
Right? But the amount of willpower that he...
That ball was low side the
It
whole
was
way.
like low side on Poana, it always lips out.
Yeah.
But the fact that he brings up that energy, he brings up that willpower to, will the ball into the hole, there really is something to that. And so if you can bring some of that into your putting, you're going to have more of a chance that these balls will lip in versus lip out.
What's a routine on tour, putting routine that you really like?
I think Aaron Baddeley's always been really good. I think that he's very quick with his decision making. He looks back and he goes.
Yeah.
I think Davis Love was one of those players who first sort of started the look, come back and go, and he almost went to almost too far to the extreme where he would his eyes would start coming back and his putter would start going back.
Yeah.
That's almost too fast. I want some cadence of okay, I'm looking, I'm back, go.
Almost like a target, more like a target sport.
Yep.
Shooting a basketball, that type of
Well, and as you bring that up, I always compare Steph Curry's, free throw shooting versus Shaquille O'Neal's free throw shooting. Are you standing there when you've got a basketball in your hand? Are you standing there looking at your hand while you're shooting it, or are you looking at the target?
Yeah, at the rim.
Right, you're looking at the target. This is where I'm trying to go. What's the point in standing here and just being like?
Yeah, now you're in stroke mode.
Yeah, and then stroke mode is left brain, and you're analyzing your stroke. Well, last time I took it too far outside. This time I know I'm going to take it too far. It's like, dude, you can't win that battle.
Yep.
I want you to get out of that and get more being an athlete, being free, and just point, shoot.
Yep.
That's what we want to do. And you build a routine so that you can do that on the putting green.
All right, I'm going to make one before we leave. Right here?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to walk in, super bouncy and confident.
Eyes on the target. Good. See it going in. See where it's entering the hole. There you go. Man, great stroke. Oh, that was a really good stroke.
Can't make them all, folks.
You just didn't want it enough.
No. Thanks, Coach.
You got it.